like he said, there are times where he says, you've done it before. This is not weight you haven't done. So that's my way to attack it. Once I hear his voice telling me that I've done this before or that I'm able to do it, I'm able to kind of readjust and get my mindset where it needs to be.
There's always one word: execute. Just execute.
So do you plan to change anything about your training going on the roads? Is there anything you would have done differently this time around?
Yeah, there's always times where we think about, is cutting the right, thing to do. I only had 3 pounds, but even 3 pounds is a lot. And I knew that I was feeling it then, and that the reason why we then adjusted some of our numbers, just because it just sometimes just plays against you. So my idea, and hopefully once I get back home and sit down with both of my coaches, because Mitch is definitely there all the time as my handler, but Heather Connor is my my coach, and we want to sit down and figure out what's the next game plan. I really would love to stay at my weight class. That's the ideal way to be able to program and execute those lifts at at training at your weight you're going to compete. So I would like to try that this time around.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Take a seat. All you.
It's so scary and lonely up here. Either way?
Either one.
Do I need this?
Nope. If you can speak in the mic. Just test it really quick.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right. Susanna,
I know you.
Susanna, congratulations on medaling here today. Congratulations. What was the strategy coming into today's competition?
It was an interesting meet for that reason. So I changed my weight class about on the 19th, so that's about 2 weeks ago, and it was in concert with the strategy. So since the pandemic, I'd been light, and I came back 20 pounds light, and I want to get back to the 400-pound deadlifts. So first strategy was get to the right weight class, and if you lift in nationals in a weight class, you're stuck there till worlds. So you make a decision for now through the end of the year, basically. So I made that decision. I was in the weight class by 0.8 of a pound. So that bet paid off, but barely, and was frightening until the last minute. So the next strategy was, what do you do for worlds? And one interesting thing about this sport is its transparency. So every lift of every lifter is available online for review by anyone around the world. And when you go to Worlds, you're going to see people who already know how you lift. And so they're training to match you, beat you, do the best they can. They can't pull a rabbit out of a hat, but they can sure train harder based on what they need to do. And so today I made a decision to not go max on anything and to put down numbers at maybe 80% of what I possibly could have done. And behind that, by the way, this is an amateur organization. We're all amateur lifters. There's no salary associated with it, and I don't have a sponsor. So Mongolia was the wish and the hope. Bank for Mongolia is a very big deal. And I work now, after 30 years in high tech, as a trainer in a gym. And it's hard to make that kind of bank as a trainer in a gym, even though I won first place in May among all our gyms. That was pretty fun. But anyway, making bank was a deal. So when you invest in work, you don't have as much time. And as a trainer, I'm loading bars for people all day. It's hard to come back at night and train. So I made a bet on that, too, that I could do what I did at 85% investment and make the grade anyway. And it worked out all right.
So you said you went about 80 to 85% today in terms of your numbers. Did you know that you opened with a national record on deadlift?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, could have been bigger then.
Yeah. All right.
And I noticed you were in great spirits in the back room, keeping everyone excited and very hyped up. How do you maintain that positive energy, especially going on stressful environments such as qualifying for a world meet? How do you keep such high spirits?
Seems to me that's the only way to play. I know some people want to get angry at the bar, but it never did anything to me. So I find keeping a positive, open mind about it and doing the best you can, accepting the results, it helps you deal with things that come up. So I missed getting the attempt to the table on time, and that's an embarrassment. The lift wasn't what I wanted it to be. But if you dwell on that, and for any young people, if you dwell on what happened on the last inning of your sport or the last quarter of your sport or the last lift, you're not focused on what's coming next. And so it seems to me there's no choice, and that's discipline.
Awesome. Susanna, congratulations again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the great day.
Congratulations again.
Thanks,
It was so
Scott.
great meeting you.
Appreciate you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Nice
I
to
did
meet
throw
you today.
I did throw
Thanks
this
for
video
coming to
up
work.
on our Instagram. Feel free to send that out to everybody.
I'm going to share it with the
You're
jail.
fantastic.
You're sweet.
You're so fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Ready? Shelly and Coach, do you mind just checking in with your audio? Can you just speak into the mic really quick?
Hello.
Mic check.
Perfect, perfect. Shelly, congratulations. Congratulations on your performance here today. Absolutely stellar performance. What was the strategy coming into today, and what was the game plan?
Just basically not to bomb out. And make those first attempts, and anything after that is just cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What did your coach tell you, or what were you thinking after you went through squats and you were going into bench and then going into deadlift? What was the mindset? Does it transition at all, or does your coach give you some insights in between each of those exercises?
She does. It's like one lift at a time.
One lift at a time. Yep, that's
Yeah.
always the game plan. Yeah, the main thing with Shelly coming into it was her hamstring. So we were just making sure that was okay and just taking what was there for the day.
So I saw a few complications going on bench. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened and then maybe how that changed your mindset, or if it didn't at all going into deadlift?
Oh, well, yeah, the bar was crooked. Or I was crooked, or I couldn't. I couldn't get the bar to line up where it was supposed to, and even when I thought I had the bar lined up where it was supposed to, it just got hung up on the pin. I didn't even have a chance really to fail the lift, but I got the first attempt, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
First and
And-
second.
I got the second one
Yes.
too. Oh.
Yes.
Okay,
First and
well,
second.
that's cool. I got the second one too.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not sure what the deal was with the bar. It seemed like it was kind of off center. So whatever. But it I didn't carry that with me into deadlift at all. No.
So I know you just started working with Sam Calhoun. What made you decide to work with her full time?
It's a deep dive into powerlifting, and Sam is the best, and I was very, very fortunate that she, let me onto the team and to coach me, and just very excited about what we're going to do.
And so now with this meet being over and Worlds on the horizon, is anything going to change in your training? Or is it going to kind of be the same thing?
So we haven't gotten there for yet. So I wanted her to focus on this meet, and then we're going to redraw the game plan next week. We're going to talk about it. Because first I got to figure out what she was doing before, to make that better. But we haven't gotten there yet.
Any questions from our audience at all?
If you could just talk about a little bit of your training leading up to it. Was it smooth? Was it kind of any injuries kind of pop up?
This was a rough patch for me since Worlds. It was I got a bicep thing, and I had to change my bench setup, and then after the bicep thing, I did some craziness with a belt, and I had a bruise on my rib, and I mean, you want me to go on? It was like, and then I have a chronic like hamstring tendinopathy type thing that decided to get pissed off. So I had to go from sumo, and then I thought, okay, I'll go back to conventional, and it was not good, so I'm back to sumo, and yeah, it was kind of a bumpy road up to this meet. So
with that being said, were you happy with the numbers you did? I mean,
yes, yeah. I mean, deadlift went up. Like I said, I got my first attempts. So bench was just a weirdness. I think that wasn't a strength issue. It was more of a positioning type thing. So overall, I'm very pleased. Yeah, it was a good meet, and it was run. It was smooth. It went really fast.
Really fast.
And I got the team, so it was all good.
Final question for you. We all know you have a very interesting relationship with your competitors. Can you explain some of the dynamics you have with some of your rivals?
My biggest rival is me. That's really it at this point. So, we like to kind of tease and joke and push each other, but really my main competition is myself. I want to just, hopefully, I'm not sure what the total was this time, but hopefully we'll just keep creeping it up.
Yep.
Awesome. Congratulations again, Shelly.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Susie, you just touch your mic out. Just speak into it really quick.
Hey, can you hear me?
Awesome. Susie, congratulations on today's performance.
Thank you.
What was the strategy coming into today's competition?
There wasn't really a strategy, not to sound silly or cocky, but I actually just came in to do my numbers for training that I was supposed to hit this week. I am coaching 7 people, and I originally thought there'd be 2 ladies in the session right after me that I'd be warming up. So I just decided just to start training for Cayman Islands and just hit what I was supposed to hit in the gym this week on the platform. So it was pretty much come, have fun, and make sure I don't miss an attempt or my husband might not let me come home.
Does the strategy and training change as we look forward to Worlds?
Definitely. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do the World Championships or if I'll just do the Cayman Islands. But right now I'm in a volume cycle, and I'll start hitting heavier lifts, probably going up to like second attempts before I go and compete next time. And that would look like today in the squat I ended with 115, and I'll probably hope to open around 130 at the next meet. So I'll be leaving the volume block soon and get to start lifting more heavy.
So I know you handle a lot of lifters on game day, and sometimes you lift as well. Can you talk a little bit about how the competition changes for you when you have to actually handle people as opposed to just lifting?
This is, most of the time, I'll have my husband coaching with me. So if I'm lifting, I won't coach the session I'm lifting, and then I'll coach every session after. So typically I wouldn't do it at the same time. Had I had people at the same time as me, I was just going to take openers so I could focus on them, because I don't think it's fair to my lifters if I can't really focus on them. So I wouldn't recommend to anyone to do the same session coaching and lifting unless I was the only one in my weight class, so I could have just taken one.
So obviously, you're a legend in your weight class. Is there anyone you have your eye on internationally as far as your competitors, or you just kind of like stick to your own training and focus?
Pretty much just sticking to myself. If I'm being honest, I'm just trying to get closer back to the old Siouxz. But if I compete in the Caymans, depending on if they want me to be a 57 or a 53, then I will be shooting. If I go to the Caymans, I'll be shooting for the squat and the total world records.
Any questions from my audience at all?
Susie, with so many accolades on your resume, what's kind of what drives you to keep competing at such a high level?
I love to compete. You know how some people just love to train? I like to train and I love to compete. I love the camaraderie and I also love coaching. And I think when I started, when I was 22, I said my goal was to compete every decade for the rest of my life. I had no idea I would actually compete all the way through. I thought I was going to take breaks, which I might in a year or two, just focus on coaching only. But whenever I hit a new age class or something like that, I just want to push myself harder and see what I can do then.
One more question. Sure, to follow up on that question, with the number of years of experience that you have and the obvious successes that you've had, what would you say for a new lifter that's maybe 1 or 2 years into the sport, you yourself coach? What is the number one thing that you tell them as far as overall advice that you could give a young lifter coming into the sport of powerlifting right now?
I would say, honestly, the biggest thing is make sure you're having fun. If you're not having fun while you're doing it, if you have training where you're dreading all of your training and you like to compete but you hate whatever you're doing, you're not going to stick with it very long. So make sure you're having fun. And even though it's contrary to what some people would say, you don't have to hit lifetime PBs in 2 or 3 years. Because I see so many shooting stars, and they're stars. They kill the numbers for the first 2 or 3 years, and then they end up with lots and lots of injuries because they're pushing so hard, so fast. So it's push yourself, but you can start to break. So just be smart. When your body is saying no, try to stop.
Awesome. Susie, congratulations on your performance here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.